Hello everyone, today's video is going to be a recap of the first week of the Karmakut community 100-man Call of War server. Thank you so much to Call of War for sponsoring this video. If you're trying to make a Call of War account, or if you don't know what Call of War is, it's a massively multiplayer online RTS game that is easily accessible on your phones, on the web browser. Just go to callofwar.com or check out the link down below to set up an account, and you can get access to this amazing 24/7 RTS game with 100 players. I have to say that the RTS mechanic in 24/7 time is so unique. I've never played a game like this, and there's just a constant feeling of anxiety and pressure because things are happening around the world at all hours of the day. So if you want to check it out, links are in the description. Otherwise, we're gonna get straight into the recap. Hello everyone, so it is currently day 3 of our Call of War 100 player playthrough with the Karmakut community, and as you can see, it's pretty crazy right now. The first couple of days were pretty quiet, not gonna lie. A lot of people were just building up their infrastructure, creating alliances, but yesterday and today has been absolutely nuts. As you can see, a lot of the world, all these hashed areas are conflicted. They're currently in a war. So the entire world has erupted. People are fighting over territory everywhere. We are currently playing as Communist China because I thought that'd be a great meme. And we have formed an alliance with, let's see, who is this? Kazakhstan, Western China, Korea, and then that's pretty much all we have right now. We do have one more spot in our coalition that we're kind of just debating on who we should invite. But we are essentially going to try to retake Asia. That is going to be the goal for this week. Kazakhstan is holding the Middle East kind of defensive line, while Western China moves to take India. We are going to try to take and reunite all of China here on the east and south under the communist rule. We do have the nationalists down here actually forming up a line, a defensive line, or an offensive line. I'm not sure yet. They have a lot of air power, so we do have a couple of anti-air guns here set up. And a couple of our own fighter squadrons to kind of match this. Korea is sending over a couple of troops to help us clear this out. But yeah, we're going to continue. We're fighting over this Shiramurin right here right now with a couple of light armor and infantry units, and then trying to clear out the rest of the territory over here in the west. Sichuan is on a defensive war. We are pushing in there right now. As you can see, we're taking quite a few territories from them. We took Xi'an from them, and we do have a small counterattack down here coming. So we're gonna order some of our guys here, most likely. But yeah, we're kind of just focusing on crushing this Western China and reuniting it with, of course, the greatest and only China, the Communist China, while Korea is pushing north into Manchukuo. Now we have tasked Korea to start harassing the Japanese, and that has begun with a couple of submarine shenanigans over near Nagasaki. But the idea here for the next week is Japan is going to secure the east and become a naval power, taking all these islands down here. Western China is going to take all of India and proceed to Africa. I'm going to secure and reunite Asia and Southeast Asia, or China and Southeast Asia, and then push north into Russia. And then at that point, we should have the majority of Asia under our control with a solid Korean Navy to guard us from the Western powers. So pretty big steps here on the third day. I'm excited to see how this develops. We do have a couple of territories here that we're focusing on industry-wise, so we're just making sure that our industry is, you know, pretty stable. And one of the most amazing things in this game so far has been the newspaper. Like, all the guys in the community that have been using this are absolutely amazing. Like, there's a ton of awesome propaganda pieces. People are really getting into the roleplay. It's just awesome seeing reports of a spelling error in our last article. So it's just filled with memes. Some, you know, important information. Zomba has fallen and a couple of other things like that. But there are some really, really funny memes here. If we scroll back, like let's say to day 2. Soviet propaganda, not cash money. There's a ton of funny stuff here. So yeah, it's just been great reading the newspaper. Like, I really wish you could get a compilation of all the articles that were made by players at the end of the game, because it's just been great. Some of you guys have been really taking it a step further, and it's just been hilarious in here. And of course some pretty somber memes. But it's been a good time. Even our Korean ally here has been pushing out some some awesome propaganda to strike you know, fear and uncertainty into the minds of our foes. but it's been a good time so far. We're focusing on, you know, really securing our southern line here against nationalist China, which we will eventually invade into, retake Shanghai, and just reunite everything here, eventually move into Taiwan and take that, and then take all of Southeast Asia. So that's the plan. We do have a lot of success right now. Our allies are doing well in their wars. They're pushing northwest here for Korea. They're really taking the east here for Western China, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens tomorrow. So we'll see how the landscape develops and what else happens. Okay, so really fast update. It is currently the morning of the 4th day, and nationalist China has surprise attacked me during the middle of the night. They've blitzed up the first couple of territories into communist China and are trying to push hard to Qingdao. Now, luckily, we do have a couple of armored divisions that were in processing last night, and they have just popped out. So we do have a couple armor units now popping out in our production cities to kind of hold the line. But they've annihilated my infantry units down here that were holding the initial line. So I'm having to recall my attacking armies in the west from Xi'an as well as from Shuramen, these two armored car divisions with infantry support, to kind of reassess what's going on down here. We also have Japan trying to naval invade me using their convoys, but our good allies, the Koreans, are using their submarines to deny that, and they're currently shipping over a couple of helpful troops as well. And then the war on the west here is going back and forth. So it's getting a little dicey, not gonna lie. Getting a little concerned. These tanks just popped out in time, but I don't know if it's gonna be enough to hold the line until we get reinforcements. Koreans are coming down here right now to support us. The USSR is actually going to assist us, our communist allies. So a informal alliance is being formed between the Communist Coalition and the USSR. So still some good memes and some good role playing in the World Herald. USSR is going to intervene and assist us. There's a lot of stuff going on here. Japan, Imperial Rescript, they're coming in to try to take China. There's a lot of dangerous stuff happening, not gonna lie. A little concerned here with how deep nationalist China is pushing in. Japanese are still landing troops, but hopefully with these fresh armor divisions, we will be able to hold the line and push them back when Korea comes to assist us. So we'll see how it ends by the end of tonight. We'll probably do another recap at the end of the 4th day, just because of like how crazy this situation has developed, but I guess we'll see. All right, so a lot has happened on the 4th day. We're at the end of it here now, and as you can see, it's pretty neck and neck. We've had quite a few major battles. There's 3 going on right now. There's a large tank division from nationalist China down here on the southwest. We've got a couple of infantrymen from the center here, the center line. They did take over Suho. We were not able to take that, but we are cleaning up the rest of their advance here, and we're halting them at this line. I do want to eventually take this city back, though, because it is one of my production areas, and it does have goods that it produces for me. And then up here in the northeast, we did manage to catch the Japanese. They overextended, taking Qingdao, and we were able to sweep in here and cut them off at Rizhao. And now we're engaging them as they attempt to bust out of the pocket. They could have gone down here to the south, but they decided to commit to the west, and now we're pretty much cutting them off here and trying to hold down this pretty large division with a couple of tanks and infantry, as well as an RD piece here. So pretty neck and neck here for us as far as what's going on our south. It's pretty bloody, and I'm not gonna lie, I got pretty worried down here. Got pretty worried that we'd get knocked out pretty fast, but Korea like rushed down here. I pulled almost all of my troops that are on the northwest down south. So this armored division is coming down from the north. It's finally here after traveling all day. So he's coming to reinforce. And then now we have actually decisively engaged the division over here. So let's make sure we tag this guy up. Get all of our divisions attacking this. Korea's been a huge help. You can see they've got a whole bunch of pieces down here that they've marched all the way from Korea proper. So Korea really backing us up here against our war with nationalist China and Japan. South China as well is down here on the southern border. So it's been pretty gnarly. It's been pretty gnarly, but we were able to squeeze out a couple of tanks before we lost these major production areas, and we're pushing them back now. It's going to be pretty slow and brutal, but tomorrow morning we're going to have a huge development over what's happened over here, and it's going to be interesting to see how all these battles play out. I mean, who knows, they could launch a massive counterattack in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping, and that would be just absolutely savage. What else is going on here? Japan has pretty much given up this division here near Qingdao and is moving 2 convoys of Japanese soldiers to try to invade Korea across the channel here. Korea luckily has a couple of, you know, divisions here to hold that off. I'm not sure how well they'll be able to hold it off because there is a bit of a skeleton force here, as they've sent the majority of their army to help defend communist China proper. We are still harassing them. Korea has a couple of subs here that are harassing nationalist China, trying to take these islands over here in the east. What else is going on? Western China, as I said before, they're making their push towards us, but they're getting slowed down by Sichuan. Hopefully, though, we'll be able to handle this southern flank with just me and Korea, and he can just focus on going down into India next. Russia has been sending us a couple of supplies. Thank you, our communist comrades. You guys have been great. And what's going on elsewhere in the world? I think that's pretty much it. Japan is really trying to expand up north here as well. They've been kicking ass. Japan is, I gotta, hats off to you, whoever's playing Japan. They're really putting a hurt on Asia right now, and this combined China down here, this nationalist China combined with the South China and with Sichuan, it's proving to be quite a force. We have not actually taken any ground down here. We've ended up losing these territories, so we'll see if we can take them back over the next couple of days. My feeling is that we will be able to. It is going to be quite a battle, of course, because they do have defensive lines set up here, and South China, like I said, is assisting. But hopefully after we mop up the initial assault force, you know, they overextended a little bit, we'll smack them back. And I've got a surprise for tomorrow night, assuming, you know, we can hold this line. I've got a cool little trick up my sleeve for tomorrow, so you'll see that tomorrow. But overall, a pretty exciting day, and I'm really enjoying this playthrough. Like, this has been a lot of fun. I've been actually glued to this like all day, like either on my phone or on my other monitor. Like, this has just been something I've had up all day, and I really like the pacing of it, because there's real-time tactics, because it is real-time. You gotta talk to your allies, and it's gotten me really worried a couple times. So I'm really happy with this playthrough, and we're having a lot of fun with it. So until day 5, hope you guys have been enjoying the series so far, and we'll cut to that day. Hello everyone, so it is currently the morning of the 5th day, for me at least. The game will actually took over to the 5th day in about 2 hours here, and just to give you an update of what's going on, we have retaken our area here of communist China. We've kicked the Japanese out. They put up a valiant last-ditch attack at Weifang, and we were able to push them out, and they all perished. Now we're continuing our south line here. South Korea is actually, Korea proper is actually pushing in here as well to help us with nationalist China, and it does look like we have them on the back foot. But one thing is that we are running out of supplies. I can't really produce anything because my major production cities were absolutely annihilated with the initial assault. So now my plan is to just build up my defenses, get a strategic line going so I can rebuild my infrastructure, because they completely trashed it when they came through here. It's going to be a minute before we can recover. One bonus good thing that we do have now, though, is our tactical bomber, which just came out and has been bombing the Sichuan army back from our lines. So they're going to be falling back because they don't have any anti-air here. Korea is getting pushed back by 2 tank divisions over here on the west flank, so I'll probably have to end up tasking my bomber to hit these units over here. In the middle of the night, Sichuan and South China made a surprise attack against our Western Chinese ally, and they're pushing these guys back, as you can see, because of how far this guy has pushed eastbound. His supply chain is really long. He's probably gonna have to fall back quite a bit to hold the territory that he's taken. So that night surprise attack, man, this game being real time and not having any breaks, you really have to be set for the night, because like players that are going real try hard are coming out at night trying to get that surprise attack on you. And I think that's a really cool mechanic of the game. And I'll tell you, like, I've been pretty stressed playing this. Like, it's been so addictive. Like, I'll be playing this and checking this all the time, just because things are happening literally 24/7. Japan's still trying to naval invade Korea now. They've shifted their pressure from me because they could not get any more naval convoys through the channel here. They're now focused on trying to land their troops in the east side of Korea. So Korea is now focused on protecting their mainland as well. But today's mainly just going to be, hopefully, a calm day where maybe we take a couple of these southern territories, but our primary focus over, you know, the next day or two is just going to be rebuilding our infrastructure because we've run out of resources. We're barely producing units right now, and we just need to get that infrastructure flowing again so we can pump out more military units, because Szechuan's putting up a hell of a fight right now. They're pushing back on the north, pushing back on the west, and they tried to push us back on the east. If this bomber did not pop out in time, we could have been in some trouble. They're doing an amazing job holding off 3 armies. Nationalist China is slowly succumbing, and Japan is now actually advancing northbound here up the east island chain near Russia. So very interesting things going on down here. We're gonna see what happens today. I'll give you another update at the end of day 5. But yeah, thanks so much for watching. It's been a lot of fun. We'll see how the day develops. Hello everyone, so we're at the end of day 5 here. Not too much has changed. We are still securing this northern territory. This unit should be destroyed in 48 minutes here, so we'll have the whole north under control. Mongolia is getting absolutely torn apart by West Yakutia, I don't know how you say that. But yeah, Mongolia is gonna be gone here pretty soon. So this area right here is gonna be pretty dangerous, but Siberia and our communist brothers have kind of banded together over here, so they're gonna support us. So hopefully they'll deal with this if it gets out of control. Along the south, we're just bombarding Shanghai right now with some of our artillery. They're holed up right here. Communist China, or Nationalist China and Japan have a couple units here, but we should be able to keep them back with what we have here and then bombard them with artillery until they fall back or are destroyed. We have our strategic bomber right now heading over to the west. Now, an interesting note, Burma is moving troops over to the northeast, and Burma is all the way right here. This is Burma. So Burma's moving to support Szechuan. I think they're trying to work together here, and Burma's actually part of an Indian alliance, which is somewhat concerning. So we just have to keep our eye on what's going on down here, just because this could be an issue, you know, dealing with reuniting China and then dealing with a Indian uprising of a sort from the southwest. Japan has continued their expansion up to the north and is kind of being held back right now by Korea's submarine and navy. They do have quite a few naval bombers though, so getting into Japan is probably going to be pretty far out of our reach for the foreseeable future until we can figure a good invasion plan to help Korea take Japan. But right now we're just focused on rebuilding our industry after getting invaded, capturing this last northern area up here, and then we actually are going to counterattack Burma tonight. We weren't at war with them before, but they're moving troops over here. I have very little defenses. I don't like what I'm seeing here, so I'm gonna preemptively send this armored car division with 4 infantry units and then this tactical bomber to start pushing these guys back, because I don't like how this looks. Otherwise, it looks like Szechuan is letting Burma handle this northeast, but they've moved all of their troops to the west to kind of deal with Western China, as they are, you know, really going tug of war back and forth over this no man's land right here. So pretty interesting developments. I've been really enjoying Call of War. I just love how a story is being told, and it's, you know, gonna take time, and you know, that just shows how much of an investment all these players are making. Everyone's pretty committed to the game right now. There's also still a couple of really funny memes in here, people bantering back and forth. I know you're weak, stuff like that. The USSR has just been really going hard on the propaganda, and I absolutely love it. I love how, like, absorbed into the immersion these guys are getting. It's just amazing. I never thought that they would be so into role-playing as these nations. But as you can see, just turmoil all over the world. It's just been great. Japan has suffered 3,466 casualties so far. We've only suffered 1,000, so pretty good here. Nationalist China as well. We are still winning that war of attrition. We are currently at 17,000 losses with that war, but the nationalists have 19,000 killed. So doing pretty well on our wars, but as you can see, not too much progress. We're just focused on holding the line right now. We're trying to get into Wuhan. Korea got pushed out here. Korea had a couple troops here this morning, but he went to bed, and then during the night they attacked him, and yeah, he pretty much got annihilated down here, so he's pulling back. He does have a couple of light tank brigades and stuff coming in here. I'm gonna have to reinforce this south very soon, just because I'm worried about a nationalist counterattack. But overall, I think we're gonna be okay. I've got quite a few. I think I've got like 2 or 3 infantry units in the works here. They'll pop out soon. I think we just finished researching mechanized infantry, so as soon as I get my barracks up to level 3, we'll start pumping those out, and those will help a lot. But yeah, I have my tanks here just holding this area down. Everything on this like southwest area is kind of being locked down while I push back the western flank, and hopefully once we get this secured, I mean, God, we're gonna have quite a big south line here that we're gonna have to control. So most likely it's just gonna end up becoming somewhat like trench warfare, and just both sides RNAing each other while we rebuild our buildings behind the scenes. But pretty interesting. We'll see what happens, you know, tomorrow. I really hope I don't get surprise attacked during the night, because man, I've been addicted to this game. Like, I'm constantly checking it because I don't know what's going on. Even like when I'm doing my live streams, I'll be like so concerned about what's going on in Call of War, because I don't know what's going on here, and like a couple hours off, they could really, you know, do some damage while my troops are not being attended to. So I think it's a cool mechanic. It really makes it feel like it's a war that's going on all day, every day. But yeah, I'll check back tomorrow. Hello everyone, so this is, I believe, the end of day 6. It's been quite a calm day, actually. This is probably going to be the last update for this week. Looking at the map here, not much has changed from the last update. Korea has pushed northeast into this territory up here. Japan is just holding steady. Nationalist China is beginning to crumble as Korea and my communist troops begin to move south. Shanghai's under siege now and will fall soon. And then Korea is pushing even deeper here southbound. On the western front, we've actually established a ceasefire with Sichuan, so we've both pulled troops off of this western line because Sichuan is actually getting assaulted from the south. All these territories down here used to be Sichuan's, and then South China was just like, hey, Sichuan, we notice you're fighting a war in the west and on the east. We're just gonna sneak in the back door here. So they launched a surprise attack on Sichuan, and so Sichuan's pulling all of its troops from the west and east now to try to hold it south. So Sichuan had it pretty rough. Had it pretty rough at the start of this game, not gonna lie, but they've been doing pretty well trying to hold off. They have partnered with, I think it is Burma, to kind of hold this area, but yeah, it's been looking pretty rough for Sichuan. Our western allies are, you know, holding the line as well, regrouping. Right now, we've entered kind of a calm era in the game, aside from, you know, reuniting China, communist and nationalist China into one. It's pretty calm now. Things have stabilized. I'm not so anxious anymore about potentially, you know, losing everything. We have the troops to hold the line, and our adversaries are caught up in other wars right now. We really need to spend this time rebuilding our infrastructure, though, because like when they pushed in, they really destroyed a ton of our manufacturing buildings. So that's what we're going to be focusing on. Over here on the west, not too much has changed. A couple territories shifting hands. If we scroll out, we can get a big picture for, you know, groups that have really taken a lot. As we can see, California here has ended up taking most of the western United States. Canada is getting divided up into some pretty large pieces here. South America is actually pretty united. I think they're all in one alliance here, or most of them are. And this northern territory here, West Yakutia, is expanded quite a bit into Mongolia. Mongolia is pretty much exterminated and under this region's control now. But yeah, if we take a look at the newspaper, and we can just read a couple of articles here. Some people complaining why the market prices have gotten so high. It's because people are trying to buy them to field these armies. Yeah, what else? A lot of territories changing hands. Szechuan losing a lot. Oh, that is rough. They're losing a ton of troops to South China right now. So yeah, they really can't afford to fight a war on 3 fronts right now. Let's see if there's any propaganda pieces in here. I don't think there have been in a little bit. Let's go back to day 5 and see if there's anything there. A lot of stuff happening in South America, actually. Please learn to spell anonymous writer. Some banter still going on. The French and the Swedish are declaring war against Germany. So some stuff going on in Europe right now. Let's take a look at Europe. Ooh, Yugoslavia got pretty big, actually. That is quite impressive. So Yugoslavia has actually absorbed all of Germany, it looks like. That's a pretty interesting turn of events. But yeah, it's turned into a pretty fun game. I'm really enjoying it. Thanks once again to Call of War for sponsoring this series. I think it's been a really, cool thing to play with everyone in the community and have something that's like in real time with 100 players. It's just been a fun, almost social experiment. So yeah, thanks again, Call of War. Don't forget to check out that link down below in the description if you want to try out Call of War as well. It's on the phones, it's online. You can go to callofwar.com and sign up, get an account started, and hop into a match. Free to play, and it's pretty easy to pick up. It's got just the right amount of depth, but I gotta say, like, having it be in real time 24/7, I've never played a game that is really like that. So it's been a lot of fun. But that's all I got for you guys now. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.